Hello and welcome to JP's LEGO Reviews. Today I'm reviewing the LEGO Creator Expert roller coaster set. This set comes with 4,124 pieces. The set number on this set is 10261 and the recommended age rating for this set is 16 and up. Before I break it down, I'm also just going to say I'm going to review all the side things of this set first, like the minifigures and the small builds, and then I'm going to focus on this bigger set itself, since there are quite a few details in these smaller builds. So let's break it down. So here are the first 5 minifigures of this set. The left 4 are the workers, and the one on the right is a child. I like, personally, the 2 minifigures with yellow shirts because they're actually LEGO store employee shirts. And also, none of them have leg printing, but they all have great torso printing. Now, let's move on to the back. So here is the back of the minifigures, and as you can see, they all have a bunch of different prints. You got the LEGO one on the 2 LEGO minifigures, and you also can see that they're actually just plain kind of shirts. Like they have a bit of detail, but not too much. I still like the LEGO store employees the best, even though they're not actually LEGO store employees. Now let's move on to the secondary facial expressions. Here are the secondary facial expressions. Out of all of them, my favourite is the one in the middle because it just looks the most different, I guess. And also, I just like the fact that when the faces are different, you get a totally different feeling with the minifigures. Now let's move on to part 2 of the minifigures. Here are part 2 of the minifigures. No minifigure here actually has leg printing whatsoever, but my personal favourites are the spaceman guy, or the guy with the LEGO space logo, which is the red shirt basically, and I also like the grandpa on the end and his sweater design because it's really detailed actually. But let's move to the back. In the back here, you can see that there's still no leg printing, or actually no arm printing either. But with the back printing, the best one is Grandpa's one again. But also, I like the 2 hoodies on the left as well. They look pretty good as well. Now, let's move on to the secondary faces of these minifigures. Here are the secondary facial expressions of these minifigures. My favourite one is the one holding the camera. He looks like he's about to throw up, and I don't know, it just seems just comical to me. I also like the one with the red sweater again, with the space logo. Honestly, I just really like that minifigure. Now, let's move on to the actual build now. Now, we have finished up with the minifigures, so let's get to the detailing of the build. And I just want to quickly just show you all the stuff that you can see in it, and then we'll move on to the really exciting stuff, which is the features. Let's go. Firstly, you have the coaster sign, but as you go a bit more right and down, actually, there's also a missing hat there, but we're in just a viewpoint where we can't see it. You also have the ice cream truck as well. Not the ice cream, the fairy floss truck, or just stand where you can get fairy floss. Behind that you have an information stand, which I'll actually grab. Now, what's interesting about this is, as you can see, it actually references the Ferris wheel LEGO Creator Expert set and the Carousel LEGO Creator Expert set. Now, also, you will see a tree, and if I shift my camera a bit, you will see that there is a seat. Now, let's move on to this area. Now, here is the ticket stand, and then you walk up to either the fountain or juice bar, and after that, I have to shift my camera again. Sorry guys, this is going to be a bit complicated. After that, you go to the measuring stand to see if you're tall enough, and then after that, you also have a stairway here that you have to climb up. Once you have climbed up the stairway, you will enter the area where you just stand up and wait until it's your turn to go on the roller coaster. This was actually made in a quite interesting way with studs on the side. Also, I'll show you now, this can open and actually is closed in with this corner piece. And this is just where you have to wait. Now, once you have ridden around the roller coaster, also, by the way, I wanted to mention it here. Here's a seagull. And also, here's a camera of you, and when they take the shot is when you go down the roller coaster. After that, you see the operator lady, and then you, let me move here again. Sorry, guys. Then you go down the stairs and around to the photo booth. The photo booth is behind here. Let me try and grab the sign. Yep, here is the photo booth sign, so you can get your photos. And also, after that, then you can just leave the roller coaster. So, let's move on to the back of this set and just talk about the details there. Now, here is the back of the set, and I'm just going to show you a few more details around here. Now, as I move my tripod, I can see, firstly, that there's a tree right here. And the tree, it's just a normal tree build. It's the same one as on the complete other side, which was over there somewhere. But also, what's interesting is that firstly, you can actually see more of a juice bar, but more importantly, you actually see more of a technicality part of the ride. So you get to see all the technic components, and there's quite a few actually. So, and it's actually a bit of a complex system if you don't actually build any Lego Technic sets. But if you do, then you know that this is pretty standard fare. It's pretty simple. But this goes all the way to the top. And what it's designed to do is it's designed to get basically the carts to the top, because they can't go on their own. So it goes through like an escalator kind of system. And you know what I'm talking about if you've actually been on a roller coaster. Also, I'm just going to show you. Also, there's a do not stand up sign as well, which honestly, it's good to see, but it's more of a statement of the obvious, but in case if people do the wrong thing, that's why they have it. Also, you see more technic components over here, where it basically also drives it basically, so it can do a free fall. Also, you can see a pond here with a frog, which is always nice to see as well. And also, finally, when you're going up to the roller coaster, you actually have no camera, no mugs, no ice cream, no babies, and no dogs. They're the things you can't bring, and as we saw earlier, one of these guys actually held a camera, so he's not really allowed to do that. Now, let's get to the features themselves. Before I actually just show you and let the roller coaster loose so that you can see it, I'm actually going to show you what you need to do to operate it. Now, let's move to the lower center portion. Now, firstly, if you want to change carts or something like that, you move it like this. So you got the dark blue carts. Now, then if you want to see the light blue ones, you do this, then you let it go on its way. Now, the other three functions include this. Now, what this does is it actually, if I show you, it actually moves the car up so that it can then go back down. This is to pull it out. Now, when it's like this, the cart just goes on to the next round of just doing the course. But if you want to change passengers or change something, or to stop it, it stops on the tyre. And the way to release it is either do it like this, or just do it just like that. Just do it circularly as it releases the carts individually. Now, let's get to the most exciting part of all, which is actually watching the roller coaster go up and do a full course. But I'm only going to show it to you once because, yeah, it's just self-explanatory. But let's head straight to it. Now, before you just operate this, you've got to start by using this pulley thing if you want to not even touch it with your own hand. So let's do that. By the way, if you pull it too fast, sometimes the chains get a bit kind of stuck, so you have to expect that. Also, before I recorded, sometimes even a slight misalignment actually with these joining pieces of a track may have a big impact. So I just want to warn you of that as well. But now that we're done with the warnings, let's see it roll down. That was awesome. Now, let's talk about the one cart that I have an issue with. I need to address something about this individual cyan cart. Now, as you can kind of see, which one was it? I can roll this and it rolls perfectly fine, but when I roll this one, it actually doesn't really work. Like this wheel doesn't have any motion, while this one does. Now, I'm actually going to show you on the track what it does, just to show you that it is actually an issue. Let's go to that. Okay, I have 3 different carts. I'm going to show you what it should sound like with these ones. Now I'm going to show you what it sounds like with this dodgier one. It just completely stops, and that's kind of the issue. When you have it joined, it reaches the close point fine, but it actually doesn't make it to the opened one. That is something I did want to warn you about. Now, let's move on to my final thoughts. Now, what are my final thoughts after this long review? Yes, I think it's probably been my longest review by quite a bit, but anyway, let's get down to the final thoughts. I think it's a great price. I think it's an okay quality. I think it's a great display set, but it's also really good to play with as well. And value is actually really good with this set, especially considering that I got this set for 20% off. So I rate it 4.5 stars out of 5. The only reason why it isn't 5 stars is simply because one of the wheels aren't exactly working in them. Not exactly sure why, but it must probably be just a manufacturing error. Lego is sometimes known for this stuff, which is quite disappointing, but I still recommend you get this set anyway, because it's really, really good. By the way, if you're watching when I've just released this, it is still available, but for a limited time only. So, if you want this set, and you probably will want it, get it now before it retires. Because once it retires, it will probably double at least in value, because it's a very special set. And actually for 500 Australian dollars, it's actually quite a decent value compared to other $500 sets that sell here in Australia, especially compared to, like, say, the Mos Eisley Cantina sets, or like the Technicolors as like adult-oriented Lego sets. This set is absolutely worth your value. It's huge and it's very interesting to build. The building techniques are really interesting, and I absolutely love building the track portion of the roller coasters. And I loved how it just came together, and the build was really fun as well. And I think it took about 16 hours, which is quite a bit as well. Now, if you like this video, then please smash the like button. And if you want to see more content just like this, then please subscribe. I hope you all have a great day, and yeah, keep building.